So, here's another edition of my reaction to the year 1933. We reacted to the first 6 months, well, I reacted to the first 6 months of 1933. So, we're going to move into the July area of that crazy year. So, we saw a lot of Hitler type stuff, and I expect that to be very much a part of the rest of the year of 1933. But on July 1st, for an event, we had the London Passenger Transport Board beginning operation. And I'm using Wikipedia for, all of these events listed here. So hopefully all of their information is correct. And if it's not, I might correct something if I see something wrong. That is, if I'm knowledgeable about it. But so far, I think everything has sounded accurate. So anyway, as another event in July 1st, we had General Smedley Butler become involved in a coup attempt led by Gerald Maguire against President of the United States Franklin Delano Roosevelt, which failed, according to his own testimony in 1934. Now, Major General Smedley Butler was an interesting character because he was really one of the most, I guess he was the most decorated Marine in U.S. history at the time of his, at the time he got in trouble for it or whatever. But he also actually ended up speaking against capitalism in many ways. Like, he really was an interesting figure because he was actually kind of a socialist in the end, like explaining how his efforts were put into play by corporations and that this is, what he was serving at the time of the coup attempt. So, very controversial figure for obvious reasons, and he definitely has some interesting quotes. Look into that guy if you get a spare chance. Anyway, July 4th, Gandhi is sentenced to prison in India. Obviously, another interesting character. July 6th, the first Major League Baseball All-Star game is played at Comiskey Park in Chicago. July 8th, the first rugby union test match. Blah, 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 sports stuff. July 14th, in Nazi Germany, formation of new political parties is forbidden. The law for the prevention of hereditary diseased offspring is enacted, allowing compulsory sterilization of citizens suffering from a list of alleged genetic disorders. So yeah, anytime a political organization becomes obsessed with, having perfect genetics or whatever, you should raise an eyebrow about that because there's always a bit of a Nazi-like aspect to that kind of thinking. And, it does become complex because on the one hand, you do kind of want to be able to prevent people from being born with diseases, right? So that there actually is some logic to that basic idea. But if you're actually imposing it on the population through law and mandating it, well, then it becomes a far different story. And that's one of the ironic things about all this right-wing philosophy, because so many of these people claim that they're pro-life nowadays. But if you actually, look at some of their beliefs, a lot of them are very Nazi-like. And, they have these racist ideas tied in to their overall philosophy. And anyway, moving on, July 15th, the Four Power Pact is signed by Britain, France, Germany, and Italy. Let's see how that's summed up here. It was an international treaty that was signed, and, I guess it doesn't really say exactly what it was for here in the quick summary part, but whatever. The international left opposition is renamed the International Communist League. Okay. July 20th, Reichskonkordat, Vatican State Secretary Eugenio Pacelli, later Pope Pius X11, signs an accord with Germany. Now, this is where I have to admit that I suck at reading Roman numerals. Like, I just see XII or X11. I don't know what the fuck it actually means, because Roman numerals annoy the shit out of me. And I'm swearing there because Roman numerals piss me off. So, anyway, moving on to July 22nd. Wiley Post becomes the first person to fly solo around the world. Yeah, it looks like it took 7 days, 18 hours, and 45 minutes. So, let's see what else happened. Machine Gun Kelly and Albert Bates kidnapped Charles Urschel, an Oklahoma oil man, and demand $200,000 ransom. Yes, there was another Machine Gun Kelly before this rapper doofus rose to prominence. Anyway, July 24th, several members of the Barrow gang are injured or captured during a running battle with local police near Dexter, Iowa. That's kind of a running battle. That's not how I would have worded that, because it sounds almost like a jogging incident or some shit. Anyway, August. We're moving right along here. August 1933. August 1st, the Blue Eagle emblem of the National Recovery Administration in the United States is displayed publicly for the first time. August 2nd, the Stalin White Sea-Baltic Canal, a 227-kilometer ship canal, is constructed using forced labor in the Soviet Union. See, in addition to all this Hitler shit, we had plenty of Stalin crap going on too. And he was not really... I mean, you can debate who was like the worst leader. Was it Hitler? Was it Stalin? But at the end of the day, it's like comparing poop to crap. You know, like, both of them were bad. You could say, oh, this one's worse because he killed this many people. This one's worse because he killed this many people. And these deaths weren't fairly attributed to him, or these deaths were fairly attributed. You know, you can do all that kind of stuff, but at the end of the day, they're just terrible authoritarian leaders. And unfortunately, with the way the world is going, it seems like more of those types of people are going to end up in power, because people do not learn from history. But anyway, moving on to August 7th, the Simele Massacre, Simele is how you spell it. More than 3,000 Assyrian Iraqis are killed by Iraq government troops. Fun. August 12th, Winston Churchill makes his first speech publicly warning of the dangers of German rearmament. So, I mean, there's another case where you have, like, Winston Churchill, you know, he's, like, kind of glorified nowadays, but I've definitely, you know, read some bad things about him in the past. Like, you know, like the whole UK or the England being racist kind of stuff, back then especially. So it's not like Winston Churchill was a saint or whatever. It's just he looks virtuous by comparison, is basically, you know, how it turns out. Still not somebody I would, you know, really celebrate due to, you know, like how the British Empire was and stuff like that. But I mean, what are you gonna do? He might have been better than Hitler. You know, a lot of people might be better than Hitler. August 14th. Loggers cause a forest fire in the Coast Range of Oregon, later known as the first forest fire of the Tillamook Burn. It's extinguished on September 5 after destroying 240,000 acres. On August 25th, the Daixi earthquake shakes Mao County, Sichuan, China, and kills 9,000 people. August 30th, German Jewish philosopher Theodor Lessing is shot in Marienbad, Czechoslovakia, dying the following day. That name sounds familiar, but it's not like I had memorized who he was or anything. I probably heard that name before, Lessing. Alright, so the last month we're going to look at in this little installment is September, and there are really only a few events that they have here. September 12th, Alejandro Lerroux forms a new government in Spain, and I think I pronounced that name correctly, because I know the J is silent, and I know, well, Lerroux sounds French, so, yeah. Also, Leo Szilard, waiting for a red light in Southampton Row and Bloomsbury, conceives the idea of the nuclear chain reaction. Well, okay. September 26th, a hurricane destroys the town of Tampico, Mexico. So, there you have it. That's my walkthrough of the year 1933, the months July through September. Hopefully you enjoyed this. I don't know. Probably you didn't, but I kind of don't care. It is what it is, as Trump famously said. So anyway, I'm going to have another installment coming up soon. I guess. Have a good day.